Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack Network. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons. Here with me today is my co host, Joe Bond, founder of Fantasy Six Pack. And we are continuing our trading cap check in shows where we are going around to all 32 NFL teams and interviewing a beat writer, reporter, or a fan on what they've seen or heard about training camp. In this episode, we're talking Cleveland Browns football, and here helping us do so is Yvette from Bougie Sports. Yvette, appreciate you giving us your time in such a busy part of the season. How are you doing today?
What's up? Should I say hoo, because that's how they talk in the dog pound.
I like it.
Excited to be here, and I think I don't know if I'm any of those things, a beat reporter or fan, but I kind of feel like I'm all of those things, and you're getting the best of the best right now. So, bam.
Heck yeah, love it.
And I have a little dog with me today too. How about that?
Fantastic. Before we jump into the interview, I just want to remind everyone, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And hit that bell for notifications so you know when a new video drops. Then head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans to become an all-access member. That's where you get access to our award-winning rankings, draft cheat sheets, and F6P Discord, where you can ask all your custom league advice and questions to anybody on the F6P staff. And that truly is the best part. Right now, you can also save a little bit of money as well by using promo code F6PNFL24 for 15% off at sign up. But Joe, without further ado, hit Yvette with the first question we have for her.
Yeah, so we're going to start with quarterback here. And, it's been a question mark for a while. They thought they found their solution a couple of seasons ago with Deshaun Watson, but it hasn't quite worked out the plan. Giving it another go this year, is there any hope? Anything that you've seen or read that we're going to get even an inkling of the Houston Texans Deshaun Watson in a Browns uniform?
Yeah, good question. And you used a really good adjective that we Browns fans love, and that's hope. And that's all we can have, Our quarterback situation is really crazy. Right now, we hit our roster and we kept all 4 quarterbacks. So I don't know if you guys we're still rolling with 4 quarterbacks. That's Andrew Berry, we think maybe saving some for trade bait later. Sure. But me, talking about Deshaun Watson, I'm on the side of I'm going to say we are going to see a little bit of the Deshaun Watson that we've seen in Houston, because that's the only thing I could do is, let's go back to the other adjective, is hope. I think that they are changing the scheme in Cleveland. We're going to see them spreading the ball out a lot more, which means we're going to be catered more to Deshaun Watson's style of offense playing. And I don't think we've seen that before. I think he was trying to be in Kevin Stefanski's scheme. But sure. And then there's an injury that I know people we're not allowed to use the word rusty. That is a very trigger word in Cleveland. Do not say rusty. Do not. But the injury that he had is different. And I'm a nurse, and I know that's something that they don't even know how to treat and how we're going to see the recovery of that coming back. I know it's, it's one of those type of injuries, but training camp, what I've heard, what I believe is that, yes, we are going to see that. We are. And we have to. Otherwise, nothing else will work out for us. So, yes.
Maybe we'll find another savior in Joe Flacco later in the season.
Maybe we'll see.
That was amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Looking at the running back situation, which is a little wild as well at the moment, with Nick Chubb staying on the PUP list. They ended up cutting D'Onta Foreman after signing him as a free agent, which a lot of us in the fantasy industry thought maybe Foreman will have a role in this offense to begin the year with Chubb out. Now it's just really Jerome Ford there. Do you expect him to be the bell cow in this offense, or is there somebody else who could take touches from him until Nick Chubb returns?
I absolutely expect Jerome Ford to be the bell cow in this offense. And speaking to D'Onta Foreman, I don't think we've seen the last of D'Onta Foreman in Cleveland. I think what they did was one of those type of moves where they cut him off the roster, and because he's a veteran, I think he's coming back. Because we only have 2 running backs now on our roster.
Yeah.
So something's not right. So I do think D'Onta Foreman will come back. But even if he doesn't, I'm taking Jerome Ford everywhere I could possibly get him. I think it's ridiculous how far he's dropping because he is going to be starting because Nick Chubb is not going to be starting. And even when Nick Chubb did start Kareem Hunt last year, they shared. There was a lot of So I think Jerome Ford for sure. I expect him to repeat what he did last year, which was I think top 20 in fantasy football for a lot of the year in running back position. So
Yep. And then once Chubb returns, what can we really expect from him? Because that leg injury was gruesome last year. What are your thoughts on him this season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many ACLs, BCLs, every single letter with the CL. I think he had a surgery on that knee.
Yeah.
We know this isn't the first time that he's got hurt. If it was anybody else, I would say maybe we won't see that. But because it is Nick Chubb and because I know that he has that in him, and I'm not going to go with the squatting and everything, but I feel like just in the confidence that Andrew Berry and the people in Cleveland have in his return, I hope they don't rush it, to be honest, because we do have Jerome Ford, and I think Jerome Ford is great, and I think Nick Chubb should be able to have that time to, be really able to rehabilitate from that injury. But I do expect to see him back.
Right on.
I don't know when. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully in time to get it to the playoffs, but not to rush it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, jumping into the receiving Corey here. So Amari Cooper is the alpha in this offense. We know that. They brought in Judy. They had Elijah Moore. I mean, who from this group here is emerging as the number 2 receiver in this offense?
I think it's Jerry Jeudy. I think him and Deshaun Watson are having good chemistry. I know that he's loving being in Cleveland. And from what they're saying, he's looking great. He's looking like that, number 1 draft pick that he did. And he does have a lot to prove. I also think, that he's having fun here. And I think that's so important. You want to go to the guy whose birthday party you would go to. And that's how I feel like you need to have that feeling in the locker room. And I think Jerry Jeudy has that now in Cleveland. So I see him, being that wide receiver 2, our slot guy, our yak guy. But we also have Cedric Tillman, and I don't know if you guys seen Jamari Thrash was looking pretty good. So that's one thing that we've lacked too. We haven't had the greatest wide receivers, except for we have Amari Cooper now. But I'm hoping that we do have those 3 hitting. The only one that I'm kind of is Elijah Moore.
Oh, dang it. I was kind of hoping you were going to say, hoping you were going to say Elijah Moore was going to emerge this year, because there's still a little part of me that's holding out hope that maybe we'll see that guy that we saw from the Jets in that very small sample size. And he was getting targeted pretty well last year. We saw Elijah Moore getting 6-7 targets a game. He just, he wasn't producing a whole lot with them.
But we know he's really good.
Right.
Yeah. You just have So if he does, then that's pretty good. Let's say all 3 of them are good.
That would be nice.
Judy's just going to stay healthy.
Yeah, he needs to stay healthy and
Absolutely. Looking at the tight end position, though, we saw David Njoku finally break out. He's always been an athletic specimen, and we've been waiting for it. Unfortunately, it took Joe Flacco to be his quarterback for it to happen. Do you still feel like it's wheels up for David Njoku now that Deshaun Watson is back as his quarterback, or do we need to pump the brakes a little bit and maybe Njoku should fall down a little bit in the tight end rankings?
Yeah, that's the scary part, because with Deshaun Watson, with changing the offense to Deshaun Watson, we're losing Kevin Stefanski's scheme that, catered to David Njoku. You know what I mean? That's why him and Joe Flacco were so good. I think that because they respect him too so much, they're doing whatever they can to put him in this game. And I'm hoping that David Njoku is going to still be a huge threat as a tight end in the personnel. So yeah, I am taking him as well. But he got hurt a little bit, and I was like nervous in training camp. I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
please,
he's banged up right
do
now.
not do this to us, please, please." But welcome to the season, right, guys? I'm just like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
just hopefully not me. We had Nick Chubb last year. That was enough for the fantasy gods and the
that was brutal. Yeah, Njoku is one of those guys to me that like Dylan was saying, seeing the production or kind of lack thereof with Watson does concern me. And if it was somebody else, maybe I'd keep him up in that like tight end 6-7 range. But because it's Watson, I drop him down to that like 9-ish range, and he's like that last tight end that you're like you feel semi comfortable about.
Yep.
But even then, there's still that that like feeling in your stomach when you draft him, because like Watson just really didn't use him last year. And so hopefully it changes with a more open offense, like you're saying. But closing out here, we do like to ask one question to everybody that comes on here about the team that they're coming on to talk about. And it is, who is one player that you've seen or read about in camp that is going to surprise people, good or bad, that fantasy managers need to keep an eye on?
I think I'm going to go back and say Jerry Jeudy. I think people might be surprised with him, because that's somebody that, we know Jerome Ford, everybody's sleeping on. Most people should know that. But I think Jerry Jeudy, because of how he was in Denver, not only with his, play, but his attitude and everything. I just think that people are sleeping on him, and everybody that I've heard in training camp said he looks great, and he's like really fitting in with the team nicely and loving it in Cleveland.
Yeah, I feel like Jerry Jeudy's definitely someone who's being slept on a little bit. Like, I had my home league draft this past weekend, and Yvette, he went undrafted. Like, I feel like, I feel he definitely needs to be rostered in fantasy. He's still a number 2 wide receiver attached to theoretically a good quarterback. We just need to see it from him for sure.
He was drafted before Justin Jefferson in the real life.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There. Yeah, for
so
sure.
There's a reason why. There has to be. And so there's something in him. And like I said, his yards after reception. So that's an awesome. Stay healthy. And I kind of want him to play with a chip on his shoulder. That's what you want, I want to go to the game and be like, remember Justin Jefferson was drafted after you? Dude, get in their head. Come on, show us why, But absolutely. I don't know. It's so exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah, he was drafted last night, like 3rd to last round. It was pretty late. We have like a 16-round draft, so pretty late there. I mean, just I was eyeing him up, and then he got drafted, and I was like, all right, I'll move on to somebody else. But
he definitely should be a dart throw in leagues for sure.
Oh,
on your bench at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna find out really quickly, I feel like, with him if it's gonna work or not. And he's either an early cut candidate or he's gonna be somebody you're gonna be able to use. So, yeah, I totally like hearing that Jerry Jeudy talk. But Yvette, I want to thank you for coming on and talking about the Browns here. This was great. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on this season.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. This was awesome. Anytime I can talk fantasy and the Browns gets me going. You can find me at Bougie Sports. I have a website now, bougiesports.net. And from there, you can find my YouTube page. And I just plan on having fun throughout the rest of the season. Just talking and, I'm just, like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about, but all I know is I love to talk about it. So if you're passionate about something, and you just want to hear some really bad takes and biased, extremely biased, then that's where to go.
Having fun, right? That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, thanks again, and hopefully we can do it again. Thank you.
Thanks, Yvette.
Bye, guys. Go Browns. Bye.
All right, so that is it for the Cleveland Browns training camp report. Thanks Yvette for coming on again, and hopefully you were able to take some information out of that conversation to your fantasy drafts. While you're still here, though, hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave those comments. We appreciate it. And, of course, check out the rest of our training camp reports in the YouTube playlist or on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you're listening. So with that being said, we are out.